Yes, hello. I am James Rowland, and today it's the WNR478. It's NXT Update and Battleground, but I am not alone. I have a pleasure to be joined by our resident NXT expert and New Japan deity. It is Monty. How's it going, Monty, man?
Oh man, it's going great. It's going great. It's been a while, like you mentioned, the beautiful arrival of my daughter took me away from being able to do these duties as often as I would like. So I'm really, really amped up to get into it because it's been a while, man. Like you said, I have my actual baby to check on, but I have not forgotten about my first baby, which was NXT.
Where have you been? Where have you been? I've been looking up. Now, to be fair, Monty, the reason I chuckled in your intro as well is the fact I think a lot of people themselves when I did NXT update last month by myself, and they thought, James, you've done it again. So I think the relief from the listener to hear your dulcet tones, I think is a very welcome thing, Monty. You know.
Well, now this is one of those things. I'm happy that people were ready to give you hell about it. Like, I'm glad that you're getting 100% of the blame. Like, Monty couldn't have done anything wrong to get taken off the show. I love that thought process. But no, everything is fine. Had to handle personal business. But yes, I am back to like you said, our special little bundle of joy. So nothing happened. Nothing's wrong. I promise you guys. You have not screwed it up yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen him punked him. There's no heat. I haven't no comments. Oh, I promise you, everything is A-okay. And it should be a good one today because we only got 2 episodes of NXT and, of course, Battleground to catch up with. So we'll start with May 3rd, which is the NXT Women's Title Tournament. Starts us off with Cora Jade versus Lyra Valkyrie. And Valkyrie struggled to keep her nerves in check throughout this match, but still managed to shock Cora Jade. She caught with a surprise roundhouse kick to seal an upset victory. Afterwards, Generation of Jade attacked with a baseball bat, screaming that the NXT Women's Championship was her. I mean, what sort of loser? But I wouldn't, again, with this matchup with Valkyrie winning, we wouldn't have even, because obviously we knew her from NXT UK days. And it's a surprise for me that she actually made it to the final, you know?
Yeah, again, I think we both saw flashes of just how great she can be and like flashes of that talent that we've seen in NXT UK before her injury and all of that. And then, to see her now so far, I think like the only thing I would even say about Lyra as a problem is like not necessarily connecting with the audience, but it's just the character. And if you want to say she has to work on anything, it would be that type of presence and like, and like you said, connecting with the audience. But as far as the in-ring work, as far as the skill level, we know she has what it takes. And I guess, like you said, the thing is like I was definitely surprised that she was able to pull off the victory against Cora Jade because you even like she mentioned, she's a sore loser, but she's not necessarily wrong. Coming into it, you would assume that now is finally time for someone like Cora Jade to step to the forefront, especially as a heel. We've seen her come close when she was a babyface at times, and seemed like she would be the one that kind of, I guess you could say Roxanne kind of took that spot that we kind of thought was made for her for a period of time. And so it's definitely kind of shocking to see her lose here. But again, like you mentioned, since I am familiar with just how good Lyra can be, I believe it worked out from, in my opinion, because like you said, we know what she can bring to the table if you give her the time. And now I just think it's time for her to prove it to the fresher audience when it comes to the NXT, crowd.
Yeah, I agree. And if the generation of Jade is now, then it's not been very successful, I will say.
Yeah, she's having a rough go.
Yes. Well, we're talking about having a rough go. Axiom was squashed by Dabo Kato. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Scripps
I was disappointed by this.
And Scripps making a save. And you're going, Axiom was over. Don't fuck it up now.
Right.
You know?
Exactly. I 100% agree. Like they were on such a good roll when they were giving just straight up competitive matches and involving him with, it doesn't always have to be NXT UK guys, but that's his strong suit, his wrestling, and then putting him in a 2-minute squash so you can just put over the big fella who, I mean, I guess it's fine, but Yeah, and then having scripts, like, think about this. Look who's making the save here. I think I would have preferred if it was the other way around. You know, scripts getting killed and Axiom feeling pity or something.
Well, it's just, speaking about getting killed, though, we'll move on to Dragunov attacking Dijak on his way to the arena. And Monty, I did warn everybody last month that Dijak was pissing, you know what I mean, against the wrong tree, so to speak, to do this. The Tsar explained later he gave Dijak a taste of pain that hard justice already inflicts upon him. What were your thoughts on the Dijak House of Torture with Ilya Dragunov quite happily just being tortured in that fucking weird place a few weeks ago? I don't know if I really liked it or it was just the strangest thing.
It's definitely strange. You know, I think someone who's booking maybe, you know, not Dragunov also maybe, you know, like you said, a little masochist, might have some masochism going on here with like how much they enjoy putting them in these situations. But, you know, like you said, he's definitely barking up the wrong tree. You know, I think Dijak so far has prided himself. You know, he's not winning, so he's definitely trying to punish people or put people through amount of pain. And like you said, when you're doing this to a guy like Dragunov, and you know, it's like, you know what? It almost would have fit better if he was still feuding with JD. And I know JD's on to greener or redder pastures to be clever there. But you know, I know he's moving on, but it almost would have fit more with the kind of thing that he has going on with, you know, the kind of sadistic, he loves torturing people. It makes sense from that character standpoint. But like you said, I understood what they were trying to do. It's just the thing is, like we already know from NXT UK, Dragunov has an unlimited threshold when it comes to pain. I don't think it's anything that he can't push himself through. So like you said, he's barking up the wrong tree.
The thing is, though, about it is, the problem is, I understand them trying to, you know, get this character across to, you know, an audience that's maybe not seen Ilya Dragunov a lot.
Yeah.
But just replay the match with Walter, and I know it'll probably, you know, you know what I mean? Just show us what he can do. And again, it's crazy how NXT is turning into NXT UK, or, you know, part of it, because we see Gallus, of course, the tag team champions, mocking the family and the Creed brothers. Julius and Brutus Creed arrive, starting a brawl, and Channing Stacks Lorendo arrive to even the odds. Where's Tony D? Well, of course, he's in the interrogation room with the footage available to us, which, you know, was good. He was later officially arrested and read his rights. Rightly so. They did murder Pretty Deadly 2 weeks ago. Can we?
Yes, that's true. Sleeping with the fishes.
Yeah, please. Backstage, Stacks offered assistance to the Creeds at Battleground, but they refused due to him being a dick. And in the battle of New Japan Strong versus NXT UK, NXT UK one boy, Tyler Bate beating Eddie Thorpe. Does it hurt, Monty? Does it hurt that our boys beat you?
Just a small bit. Just a small bit, baby. Just a small bit. You know, I don't take it too personal because, you know, we obviously see Eddie is building on something. I think Tyler is definitely closer to like a finished product at this point. But yeah, you know, there's a little bit of that New Japan pride was here.
Yeah, I think it's the first time NXT UK won anything in like in a singles match. But Joe Gacy wouldn't let him celebrate too long. He struck afterwards, laying out both men and held up the NXT North American Championship. We then have Noam Dar versus Nathan Fraser. I mean, I've got no problem with Fraser winning, but really, did it have to be at Dar's expense? I mean, I know Dragon Lee distracted him, but I thought Dar deserved just a little bit more.
I agree. You know, I think Dar is awesome, especially with playing the other man in this role. You know, he does a really good job, and it was a really cool TV match, like you mentioned. And I think I don't have a problem with it because I know that it seemed like the obvious point of this match was to let Fraser shine a little bit more. But I 100% agree with you. You know, unless you're really familiar with Noam Dar, you know, he probably didn't get a chance to showcase as much as you would like, especially heading into a big match. You know, setting up stuff with Dragon Lee that we're gonna see. So it's just like I think it definitely accomplished the goal of putting over Frazier and all of that. But yeah, like you said, you want a little bit more, maybe a little bit more, offense, a little bit more of a showcase, maybe even, a cheat to get the victory. Like still have Nathan Frazier do everything he did in this match, but knowing Dar outsmart him in the end. Like I don't think Frazier would lose anything now, but you take what you can get. It was still a really good match.
Yeah, Fraser's another weird dude at this moment. He's got his hard-hitting truths that he's been doing. But again, there's no doubt in the in-ring work. It's just this character at the moment. They've just not...
Character.
Yeah, they've not really found it yet with him. People wonder why we get on so well, Monty, and I'll let everybody in on a little secret. It's because before Monty joined the pod about 3 years ago, we had a wrestling match. And you find once two people have a wrestling match, they kind of get on a little bit.
Just grow closer somehow.
Yeah. I don't know how it happened. But again, I'm not going to... It's a bit like Rocky 3 ending. I'm not going to tell you who won between the two of us. But history did repeat itself as our boy Hank beat Tank. They came out together, which popped me. And I know I shouldn't like these two, but I do, and I don't know why. It's just one of those things.
That's a great explanation. Because I was about to ask you, like, give me one reason. He was like, no, I got nothing, but I like him.
Well, for
Hank and Tank.
Yeah, Hank and Tank, though, did get speared by Bron Breakker, and he told the champion he would see him Sunday. Mello enjoyed time in his hometown ahead of his match with Breakker. JC Jane, Gigi Dolan from the crowd until the two agreed to a weaponized steel cage match for next week's show. Okay, maybe could have been like if only there was like a takeover coming up. But anyway, and I don't know when this happened. Luca Crucifino. I mean, I thought I was tripping, and I thought I put on Superstars from 1992 because like, what is this character? I mean, it works so well. It actually got Von Wagner over. Like, it was the crowd. What happened? Von Wagner powerbombed his opponent on the announce table. The crowd was chanting, Von's going to kill you.
Crazy.
And Wagner. Did it, all it needed was a raw appearance, Monty. That's all it took.
Look, it's amazing what it takes to finally get a reaction. Like they tried everything that they could, you know what I'm saying? And this is what it took. Luca Crucifino or Crucifino yeah.
I don't know what they're thinking.
Me neither. I have no clue.
Well,
WWE names though. WWE names. If there's one thing that'll continue. It's a narrative that will never end, no matter who's booking. WWE names.
We're laughing, and this time next year we'll be Wagner versus Luca for the NXT title.
World champion. You're 100% right. Luca squashes Mello in like 2 minutes.
Doesn't even take the half a suit off. The NXT Women's Title Tournament was Roxanne Perez versus Tiffany Stratton in the main event. Tiffany Stratton reversed the Pop Rocks, sending Perez throat first to the top rope. The Center Universe followed with a rolling fireman's carry and the prettiest moonsault ever to win. And I tell you something, this was really enjoyable. And Tiffany beat her clean and managed to hang with Rox. I mean, what about that for a fucking, there you go, girl.
Man, her improvement is just like, it's amazing to see. Like, you hear about them talking about people in the performance center or people who just improve, but this is like one of those times where you can just watch it on a week-to-week basis within her matches and the way she puts things together. The improvement is just unbelievably, just great. And like you said, when you beat someone like Roxanne, who's already a champion, someone who's accomplished what she's accomplished so far in her career, again, you would look at that and you can see that these two girls are definitely people that you can build around going forward in the future of the women's division. And I think they're going to be rivals for a while. I think we may have a nice Trish and Lita going on here, or Charlotte, Sasha, however you want to mix it up. I think this is that for this new era, and I think Tiffany is only just improving. You know what I'm saying? And I think, like you said, you could just see it in this match, just how good that she has gotten. And like you said, a very, very strong victory. And I told you about the breakout tournament. You know what I'm saying? They had a final. I think they were in the breakout final last year. And so to look at where they were then, and then to see how smooth and how great, how well paced this match was, and just how good Tiffany looked here, it's just beautiful, really, to think about the improvement, really, of both girls. But Tiffany, in my opinion, like gimmick wise, look wise, the confidence is becoming there. I think you can see it now that she even realizes that she is really, really good. And I think, this was a great example of, coming out of the tournament. This was tough to me going into it. This was going to shape where I thought, this tournament was going to go, because, if Roxanne wins here, even though we had Lyra pull off the upset earlier, it's still, Roxanne versus Lyra still was a possibility in my mind. So to see Tiffany do what she did here, and like you said, clean, and it wasn't like a mess of a match, I was really impressed.
Yeah, like you said, there's ways to go about certain victories, and there's ways to kind of make statements. And I think this was a statement. Like I said, these two women are going to be, like I said, with NXT in the rough, there's always a few diamonds, and you can see it definitely there. Stratton and Valkyrie stared each other down. A master tacker ambushed the Prodigy in the background, and then the show ended with Dijak and Dragunov brawling before signing the contract. Can everybody have a contract signing like this, please? Because, for me, the move with Dragunov with the elbow down off the stairs is good enough, And I tell you something else, Monty, and I might be wrong. I might be wrong here. But Ia might be the only wrestler, aside from The Undertaker, who could stick out his tongue and is cool and intimidating and actually scary.
That's a good point. That's a good... before they ruined the mystique, I think when Finn was in Demon Pain, he had a good one. But yes, I agree. Dragunov does not lose anything. And again, it's like I say, it's the nonstop intensity. He brings an energy to everything he does that is just unmatched. Like I can't think of anyone who, in my opinion, in wrestling, who could just who has that presence to where it's like he feels like he's 100% amped up every segment. It doesn't matter if it's a promo, a sit-down interview, he seems amped up. Contract side, it doesn't matter what they have going on. He's bringing the highest amount of energy possible.
Without a shadow of a doubt. So let's get to it then. So May 28th, NXT Battleground in Lowell, Massachusetts. In the kickoff, we had in the studio for the kickoff, because they couldn't be bothered to be there, was Megan Morant, who has started doing this recently, because I was like, who? Matt Camp and Sam Roberts. NXT stars walked around Fenway Park. Reds sucks. Let's not forget about that. I don't know a lot about baseball, but I know that. Noam Dar tried to persuade Aura Mensa to be in his corner. He's run that time. Give Shah a call. Come on. At this point, you need Shah. I know only us two would have popped, but it would have been worth it, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would have definitely, especially to us. I know I can't speak for everyone else, but it definitely worth it to us.
The thing is, as well, and Shah, if you're listening, I know he is a fan of the podcast. Please close your ears, because I even tried to download Shah Samuels on 2K23. There's no creations of him. No one would bother. I might be the only person to try and create Shah Samuels. All right.
Oh my goodness! Are we the only two people who even remember he exists?
Nina Samuels was there, and I was like, "How did she get on there?" But Shah didn't. Again, Nina, big fan.
By the way, another thing too is it was so weird seeing Oro in this role because I'm still thinking about Oliver. I know this is not Oliver Carter anymore, but I'm still thinking about that gutsy baby face he was, and just to watch him transform into a slime ball on Battleground was great.
Ashton Smith's going, what the fuck? Ashton Smith and Shah Samuels are watching this together and saying we are in the wrong place. That's what's happening. I'm so pleased I remembered Ashton Smith as well. That's one for the long-term listeners. Right.
Right.
Onto the main show, and Sean Grande of the Boston Celtics, excuse me, narrates the opening video hyping the history of WWE in Massachusetts and the return of our hometown boy NXT champ Carmelo Hayes. We got Vic Joseph and Booker T, of course, on commentary, and we start off with the NXT North American Championship: Wesley versus Tyler Bate versus Joe Gacy. No surprise, the triple threat was non-stop from the opening bell, and all three men brought their best to the table. They also did very well incorporating the story into the action. Gacy was a motivated opportunist. Bate was the athletic standout. Of course, once more, the survivor. Bate did an airplane spin on Gacy while giving Lee a giant swing at the same time. I did worry Tyler Bate was going to shit himself at that point. There was... The strain was very real. Gacy locked Lee in the rings of Saturn. It took multiple punches from Bate to get Gacy to break it. Gacy then sent Bate to the mat and locked him in the rings. Bate almost worked together with Gacy, but Lee ducked the rebound, caused them to collide and hit both with cardiac kicks for a pair of near falls. Wesley sealed it by jumping over Gacy to the outside to clear out Bate for countering the upside down with a cardiac kick on Gacy to win. Okay, take a breath. Monty, what did you think of that opener?
This match was, like you said, an awesome opener. Everyone in this match seemed very, very hungry to set that tone. You know what I'm saying? And it was smooth. I didn't have a problem with a lot in this match. I think maybe if you want to say anything was wrong or anything that caught your eye was maybe at times you would think Gacy didn't really fit, or like at times you would watch this and be like, I would love to just watch Wes and Tyler for like 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, Gacy did not take away from it. I think he definitely had his moments where he fit right in. And I think everyone was able to do what they meant to do. And also, Gacy took the pin. So, Bate is protected here, which was cool for me, which means we could possibly get a one-on-one encounter maybe for this belt, because I don't know exactly what they want to do with Bate going forward, but any title picture Tyler Bate is in is better for it because Tyler Bate is in it. And again, I have no problem, man. It was clean for the most part, and Wesley is just on the run of a lifetime. Top quality title matches and still finding a way to win. So I'm really loving this North American title run for him.
Yeah, and like you said with the Tyler Bate thing and Wesley, again, it is a joy to watch. And it's like, why do we like these guys so much? And then when watching, and it's the little things they do, and it's like, that's why we like it. I do it with Tyler Bate near enough every fucking match, where I go, oh, what you know what I mean? Oh, yeah, I like Tyler. Right. I don't know why. Watch the match. Oh, yeah, I love him, like this kind of thing. And Gacy, to his credit, did hang with two great talents.
Exactly.
The arena was half full, but still a good atmosphere, because the WWE did it well to cut the top off. I would ignore the "we want tables" chants from the crowd. Fuck that. But
yeah,
the crowd did get into it. And again, Wesley, talk about North American title run. I think it's had the most defenses. It may be the longest at this point in time. And for definitely the past 3 or 4, Wesley has opened the show and has had such a great response from the crowd and kind of has built it up. I will say Wesley's run is as good, because when I think like peak North American title, probably things like Keith Lee, Keith Lee versus Adam Cole. I think Wesley sits alongside there and maybe even surpasses. I don't know what you think.
Say that last part again, you broke up.
I'm about to say Wesley's title reign is on the same level as the kind of the greats. Johnny Gargano, Keith Lee,
Oh, no question. I think you can put him right up there, like you said, with the Gargano, the Keith Lee, definitely what Carmelo was able to do, because Carmelo's run was really impressive, especially with match quality and all of that. So, man, he's definitely in that. I probably could say top 5 already North American title runs. It's really been really good, and he looked. What I like the most about it is how consistently strong he's looked. He's looked very strong. He's not getting by the skin of his teeth. He's taking on all comers, and he seems to be beating them for the most part definitively every time.
Yeah, I think without a shadow of a doubt. And as for Gacy, I mean, I did mention a few months back that it might have been better working than Bray. I can confirm he's a much better worker than Gallows. So I'm just moving him up a little bit at this moment in time. So hopefully we'll see how far we can get. Out of 5 for the opener, Monty, what did you score it?
I think I gave this 4.25.
I gave it 4.5. But you know what I'm like when it comes to takeovers. I know it's not takeovers, it's premium event, but come on. What a way to start the show. Predictions. So after Night of Champions, it was a setback for me. Us experts here now for NXT are looking to win this one. All right. I mean, I've said to everyone, we needs at least 1 out of 3. You know, so Battleground, Night of Champions, Double or Nothing. People need 1 out of 3. That's all we need. So predictions for after Night of Champions, before Double or Nothing and Battleground. W Prediction League, I'm on 3. Monty's on 2. Gina on 2. Jaxie on 1. Bonus League, Jaxie on 9. Gina on 11. Monty on 12. I'm on 14. And AEW with Gina Jackson 0. James and Monty on 1. We all went Wesley to start. Of course, Gina and Jaxie are Jonas predictions. So we're all on 1 now. As we head into our second match, Noam Dar versus Dragon Lee for the Heritage Cup. As a reminder, this match is being contested under British round rules. Monty, how weird was it to see, out of everything from NXT UK, the Heritage Cup and the round rules coming over to America, you know?
It was weird. My thing is, I think as a fan, and I saw some differing opinions online. Some people thought the rules format took away from the good action. I absolutely love the format. So, you know, some Americans might not understand or think it messes up pacing, and that's fine. That's their prerogative. You know me, I really love this sprint and like the way the stories are being told. Noam Dar is also Ash Cup champion. I basically fell in love with the way he put these matches together. So as weird as it was to see it not in NXT UK, it was also kind of like one of those special things because I was like, you know, this is like we talk about our point of view as longtime NXT fans, but this is me now. My point of view as an NXT UK fan. It's great to see that because I was like when he was absent and the trophy, everything was gone. I was really, really worried that if he can't, I was worried, was he going to come back? And then 2, once I figured he would, I was like, would the cup even matter anymore? And I think it's kind of cool to give him that, especially because he found such a great knack with it. It's nice that someone else, like obviously someone creative, enjoyed what he did in NXT UK with it. So I think I'm glad that he's getting the opportunity to bring new eyes to the format, even if some of them may not understand it or get it at first.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent point. And if anybody can make it work, it is Noam Dar, you know, and I think we saw in this matchup. So let's get going. Of course, got 6 rounds of action. Round 1, see if I remember how to do this. Round 1, they begin with exchange of kicks and chain wrestling. At least Dar on top with an armbar. Dar wrenches the arm across his shoulder, transition to legs, and able to tie Lee up. After a series of kick attempts, Lee gets the better of Dar and ends the round with a dropkick through the ropes. And of course, Vic tells us, like, look, stop the momentum now. And we got a little break, you know, for the second round. Aura Mensa, I guess, didn't need that much persuading to come down to actually support. Just asking 3 times, apparently.
Like, what else was he doing? He's been in catering for months.
Yeah. Do you want to be on a premium live event? Yeah, it's like, oh, sure.
Right.
Round 2, Lee picks up with a flying hurricane runner and a boot to the corner. Nails a series of strikes and a missile dropkick for a 2 count, but a back elbow by Dar allows him to tie Lee up for the pin, which again, quite surprising. Dar got the first victory here. Round 3, Lee starts round 3 with strikes up to the second rope, but Dar kicks him off. Dar pummels Lee with forearms and poses for the crowd. Superkick by Lee stuns Dar, who gets to the outside. Frankensteiner to the outside and a suicide dive flattens Dar. Big knee by Lee, but he can't score the pin. Lee pummels Dar, but is unable to finish him as the round ends. And then Dar with a back elbow after the bell going, ref, I didn't hear. I didn't.
I love it. Oh, yeah. Man, I love it.
Dar hits a big kick if we start round 4 on a sliding lariat. Lands him a 2. Lee with an inside cradle but eats a kick for his trouble. Lee battling back, wraps up a Texas Cloverleaf. But Mensah pushes the ropes to Dar. This is his turn now, isn't it? You see with Rory, you go, oh, look, you're getting more and more into this. Spinning death drop by Lee ties us at 2. I thought Dragon Lee's pin was just kind of, not out of nowhere, but it was just like, that got the 3, did it? All right, okay. No, that's fine. That's fine. Not an issue.
It was definitely a flash type of pin, I guess. Yeah.
Mensah and Nathan Fraser continue to get physical with each other and get ejected. Round 5, Lee goes for another Frankensteiner to the outside, but gets powerbombed on the arena floor. That looked awful nasty.
Man, that looks so bad. Like no protection, man. He took it directly, and it was just. It was one of those spots you have to react to like you're in the match. Like I just like I was like that. Like whoo.
Will he get back up? Yeah, well he rolls him back in but gets a 2, kicks to the chest of Lee, and the charge is met with a German suplex, a big set out powerbomb, and then Jakira Jackson comes down to distract the ref. Me neither. But then you see Lash Legend. Diving, running through the crowd. Don't want to miss a spot. Grabs hold of that spit bucket and hits Lee in the ribs. Nova Roller by Noam Dar, and still your Heritage Cup champion. I mean, fuck me with the Lash Legend, you know. What a weird group. Anyway, let's talk first. What are your thoughts about the match? Get onto this kind of acid trip group that Dar's got.
Right. You would think they have nothing in common, but trust me, they surprisingly do. But anyway, like you said, the match itself, this is like you said, Noam Dar in his element. And what I liked about it was just how smart this match was. And that's what I always seem to marvel at when I watch him in the Heritage Cup. He just seems to be so much smarter than most of his opponents. And the reason why I say that is because this is the first time, I don't know, I haven't seen it yet. You have to tell me if you have, like, maybe with Nathan and A-Kid in the match, you had kind of like that style, but this is the first time you ever get to really see a lucha libre type, a legit lucha style in this format. And I think some of those high risk maneuvers, like that power, like the way he got that power bomb to the floor was him taking a chance. And that doesn't really suit this match with the time limit and all that type of stuff, especially when they come back to bite you like it did multiple times. Like, of course, he got screwed, but I did love that sometimes, yes, it worked out for him, it paid off, but it was also moments in the match where some of that type of offense did not work well when you really think about the format that they were in. And Noam Dar just took advantage, taking advantage of the bell, doing all the little slick stuff, having Oro there to be basically the stand-in Shaw Samuels, because he definitely had moments where he saved Noam's butt. So in a similar vein, so I definitely miss Shaw in that vein. But it was cool to have someone there, and I also didn't mind. This didn't really happen much. Like that's one thing about NXT UK when Noam would have Shaw, doing stuff. The other corner man didn't just immediately go whoop his ass. So I did love Nathan saying, "Nah, screw this, Oro. We got to get you out of here. I'd rather us both get kicked out than you keep doing this." So I did kind of love that, but yeah, it was really the finish. Maybe the only thing I probably didn't too much care for, but at the same time, I didn't mind it because when it comes to Noam Dar, I was expecting a screwy finish, especially if he was going to retain. I knew he was going to have to get an advantage somewhere, and once Oro was kicked out, I didn't know where it would come from. And look, as much as stuff as I talked about Lash Legend over the years, I was actually very thankful. This is the first moment so far of Lash Legend's career where I jumped and was very happy to see her.
Well, the thing is, I wasn't, obviously, but the thing that actually made me laugh was Lash picking him up to celebrate.
Yes!
I loved it.
I love it. Yes. I loved it.
I don't know why.
I agree 100%.
Like, you give Noam Dar whatever whatever. Throw whatever you want at him, and he turns it into gold.
It's just like Alicia Fox when he was a cruiserweight, man. It's just like, it doesn't matter, man. Like, even if it doesn't make sense, give him time. He'll make it work.
It's like, it's so weird. I mean, Nathan Fraser sucking up to Dragon Lee. It's something that we're going to have to look at. And again, Dragon Lee at this moment in time, especially when, you could have maybe have it tied and the champion retained. But it's going to be interesting to see what they do with him. We all need to get used to the Heritage Cup in NXT. Not all matches will be this overbooked, but Dar looked great.
Right.
And the thing I loved about Dar is the transition is Dragon Lee going for like a strike and Dar catching the arm and actually turning it into a kind of wrestling match. Because a lot of people, Dar, like we said, is a great character, but I think people forget just how good a wrestler he is sometimes.
Right. It's because it's not flashy, I believe. Yeah. I think since he's a smaller guy and it's not necessarily the flashiest, a lot of people don't take into account if they've been watching, taking into account just how psychologically sound his matches are. Like, that's what I love the most about him, because he does little things that's just like you said, like catching the arm. He's just a genius to me with the way he puts things together and the way his matches go together. And I think that's why I believe if everyone just be patient, give it time, you will all fall in love with this format and Noam Dar. Like, that's what happened to me. Just sit back and get a grip on how the rules work. We're gonna have to have a couple of more of them so people can understand how this goes. And then I promise, like you said, it'll just be magic, because Noam Dar is very good at his job.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. Out of 5, what would you score this matchup?
I was really into it. I would say like I said, it definitely was overbooked. I can't act like it wasn't. So I'll probably give it about the same I gave the first match. 4.25 is where I ended up at.
Yeah, I gave it 4.25 as well. How great. We've seen Tyler Bate in the opening matchup. We've just had a Heritage Cup match. And we've still got Ilya Dragunov to come as well. Predictions, though, for this. We all went Noam Dar apart from Gina. So Gina is on 1. The rest are on 2. And here we go. Last man standing. It is Ilya Dragunov versus Dijak. On his way to the ring, Dijak told her father, wife and daughter out of the arena because they don't need to see this. I mean, again, it may be cheesy to some, but when you buy into it, Dijak's pretty fucking cool as well.
Yes. He can, again, like I say, as long as he stopped talking like Terminator and you just, you know what I'm saying?
I will defeat you.
Just let them, like, as long as you shut him up and just let him go out there and do his thing and keep the story simple, he is unbelievably great.
Yeah, a slugfest ensues before Dijak gets the upper hand. An exchange of chops and clotheslines by Dijak. Dragunov gets knocked to the outside, and Dijak grabs the steps and just tosses him into the ring. Back outside, Dragunov takes charge. He dives off the other steel step and flies right into the boot of Dijak. Now, we saw this replay so many times. And again, this is just unbelievable. Dijak with a suplex on the stairs. And now we see tables as the crowd goes wild. We're not even 2 minutes into this matchup, right? And a mistake by Dijak as Ilya does what Dragunov does and cannonballs himself through the table and into Dijak. I mean, like, already, this is the greatest match of all time, Monty, isn't it? Like...
Yes, you're looking at it like, what the hell am I watching? Like, is this wrestling still? Like, they are trying to, like, they are going hard at this point. And like you said, not even 5 minutes into the match.
But it's even like, and again, it's like the forearm strikes to the back were harder than it seemed like barbed wire baseball bats, and we're going to get more onto that. But Ilya germs himself into the stairs, which again, to go back with all that momentum is unbelievable. Dijak for a slam, but gets DDT'd onto the steps as both men is down. He is up at 5, kicks to the corner, and when I say hurl, he hurls the steps into Dijak's face. Like, there was no pretending. He goes up top and goes coast to coast, imprinting the steps into Dijak's face. But somehow Dijak is up at 9. We get an overhead deadlift release German to Dijak. The man just won't die. It's proven. He's landed on his neck, and he doesn't. He chokeslams Dragunov onto the apron. He is back up and gets dragged back into the ring for a feast your eyes. Dijak pulls out a kendo stick and decide. He says to Dragunov, "Do you feel alive?" As he hits him with a kendo stick over and over again, and Nia turns and goes, "Not even close." Like, man, come on. Take my money. I've paid for it, but please take more of my money. And the thing is, the crowd were going like, one more time with a kendo stick. They weren't after the fourth or fifth one, were they?
They stopped. Yeah. Please stop. They want to start chance. Please stop. Please stop.
He just like, just against the second rope back, chin bleeding, just, Dijak decides to get more weapons and with a chair and a shot to the back. And even a shot to the back. How many times have we seen a shot to the back? And yet this was like a gunshot.
The hardest one ever.
Jesus Christ. Dijak just keeps giving it. He charges in, but he's met with a leaping forearm. He sets up the stairs and leaps off with a super torpedo Moscow on the back of Dijak, driving in face first into the chair and getting the count. The last 10 minutes, maybe even 5 minutes, maybe the whole match was like Reservoir Dogs or Pulp Fiction. This was pure cinema. And Ilya Dragunov, I can happily say, has arrived in NXT, and this is why we love him.
Yes, I 100% agree. What a brutal fucking match this was, man. It was so brutal. Like, at times, you're just looking at this and like, wow, this is almost like, it made me wonder, like, I've seen death matches that didn't go this hard. That didn't seem like they went this hard. Like, they were just, like you said, I think they mutually agreed before this match, we're not pulling anything back. So just bear with me tonight. I'm going to hit you as hard as I possibly can. And I think they went out there and they delivered. Dijak looks like a monster in this match. Same thing with Dragunov. Like, they both came out the better just because of how brutal this was. Like, it's so good to see, again, like you said, Dragunov definitely has arrived. I think I could just talk forever with just how good he is. And I think matches like this, we talked about it before. Tyler Bate is one of those guys also. Smaller guy, but you put him with a big guy, he can just magic. Dragunov is definitely right there on that list. With just it doesn't matter who you put him in, but if you put him in there with a bigger guy who can do a lot of damage, he just makes magic. Like you said, it's purely cinema. I think for a long time, one of my favorite matches in NXT history was I think it was I want to say it's one of the only last women standing, which is I think Asuka and Nikki Cross, right? I really loved that match back in the day, and I think this has definitely usurped it. Probably the greatest last man standing match in NXT history, and you can put it up there against any of the last man standing matches you can think of. Like I'm thinking Foley and Triple H wasn't that last man standing? No, thinking didn't they have one? Or was it Foley and Rock?
Rock and Mankind. Literally, first.
I know they had one.
My first Rumble was watching Mankind getting hit 11 times with a chair.
11 times, unprotected.
And the thing is, as well, about this, which I think is amazing, is when you think about other last man standing, or even kind of hardcore matches that we've seen in AEW or elsewhere. Right. It's the use of tables, a barbed wire, of thumbtacks and glass and all this stuff. These guys used a chair, a kendo stick, a set of stairs. It's like one of those challenges of like, what can you accomplish with these 4 things? The generic things around ringside, and you've provided the most brutal match probably in NXT history. Like, It's magic. This is why I watch NXT. This is the reasons behind why we do it for. It's so visceral. I mean, like you said, just just everything out of his pores. When Dijak's trying to beef him out, trying to build himself up before the match, you're like, it's
Right.
like, no,
amping himself up.
Yeah, you fucked up. Even the red eyes, with Ia. And that's like with Dragunov. And again, I'm going to mention 2K23 because what my favourite move in 2K23 is with Ia Dragunov when he grabs the head of his opponent and just slaps it 3 times, right? But the thing is, it's the amount of times I have done that move with him. He is a killer. Like, again, this is... Like, when people saw Gunther or Walter for the first time, this is... People are going to be looking at this and going, that's when Ia became a star. And credit to Dijak, because like you said, he took a fucking pounding as well,
Yes, he did. And then he also, for the first time in this whole Justice run, and even when he was featurizing and he was, Dominic Dijakovic, this is the first time where I believe he actually looked like a monster. Like he was willing to do whatever he had to do to try to beat the life out of Dragunov. And like you said, when you go to that length and when you really fight that hard, it makes both of you guys look like just warriors. Because again, yes, Dragunov survived and pushed through it, so of course he looks amazing. But again, for someone like Dijakovic to be able to deliver that and take the pain as much as he dished out. Yes, it sucks that Dijakovic always is on the losing end in these situations. But again, how did you even care that Dijakovic lost after watching that? Like, seriously, it was that good that it didn't even, Dragunov won, but did he really win? Like, they beat the hell out of each other. And you almost, and again, I saw people live tweeting. It was people who really was like, I'm going to probably go watch Double or Nothing. This is really brutal. Like, seriously, I saw some people jump to because a lot of people was watching like I was doing it. I had Double or Nothing on my laptop and I had NXT on my television, so I was able to kind of keep an eye on both of them. And I think that some people literally was turning away because it was getting that type of physical, and that's just that's my point. That's why I say I've seen, for example, I think, and I'm not to take any shots at AEW, but the death match where they had the big kaboom that didn't go as planned. It was some brutal things that happened in that match before we got to the ending that kind of underwhelmed everybody. But again, I would put the physicality of this match against supposed death matches, man. So that's how brutal that this match was. It was really that physical.
No, honestly, you hit the nail on the head. I don't think Mick Foley had a tougher time than Dijak did in the King of the Death match back in '95. That was just... And again, all these added stuff, and these guys were just... And again, I used to be one of these people that I weren't sure about this type of wrestling, with that kind of the leaving your mark and the stiffness. But again, if both wrestlers are up for it, bring it. I think that's if you want to be like,
exactly.
Yeah, all right. And this is again, I think with the strong style and everything like this was just incredible, man. Really, really well. I could talk about this match all day long.
Yeah, man. If it's a reason to come back to this, by far, if I ever want to think about Battleground 2023. Dijak Dragunov, go watch it, please. Whoever you are, that's the only thing you can say. Please, this is perfect.
It's a 5-star match, a match of the year candidate, and it's going to be difficult to beat this year.
It's on my list. I hope people remember by December. I hope people remember. Just like we still thinking about Ospreay and Kenny the first time. This match should be in. If you watch it, it will stick with you the same way.
Yeah, I mean, Jackson Gina, if you're listening to the show, if there's one match to watch, it's definitely this one. Go watch it and thank us later. There's no doubt about it. Predictions.
Right, no question.
No, we all went here, so we are all on 3, apart from Gina on 2. Duke Hudson allowed Drew Gulak and Charlie Dempsey to teach a class for Chase U that ended in when bullying Thea Hale until she walked out. That's going to get the woman for you, Duke. Well done, son. Noam Dar is backstage celebrating his Heritage Cup with Oro Mensah, Lash Legend, and Jericho Jackson. He refers to his championship as historic for putting over Legend and Jackson and saying they are the top. They even do this little weird finger thing of champions, which again, I don't know why I liked it, but again, check please. as they went away.
Right.
NXT UK continued with Gallus up next, defending their NXT Tag Team Championship versus the Creed brothers. Into the matchup, we get blind tag to Wolfgang, who gets the advantage with a hot shot. He starts wearing Brutus' neck crank. Series of tag leads back to Wolfgang, throwing himself into Brutus with a senton variation. Wolfgang, though, takes his after prize and Julius tags in. Overhead belly-to-bellies for the champs. Straps are down as Julius is campaigning for mayor of Suplex City. Now, the Creeds are fun, but Julius took it to a different level mid-match. I was going, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah. He just went. And I hate to be the anime guy, but like, if you know, he went Super Saiyan. Like he just went insane. Like I don't know. Yeah, he's just unbelievably good. Like, oh my goodness, I could talk forever just about the talent. Just in like literally, you watch him, and he just has limitless potential. Like seriously, like I know he's in a tag team, and I don't mind his brother either. I don't mind him as a tandem, but the potential for Julius to just take over the wrestling world. He's perfect, man.
But credit to Brutus. Brutus smashed. Brutus balled.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like he seems to be enjoying it, but like he said, there are levels, and at this moment in time, seems like Julius is ahead. Creed's attempted Doomsday, but Coffee rolls through. Double slam by Gallus, and Brutus responds with a dive off the top. The two teams meet in the middle for a brawl, which referee just goes, fuck it, go for it. I've had enough. Rolling spinebuster by Julius. Mark Coffey is in, but Ivory Nile take cares. Joe Coffey is in, sorry, but Ivory Nile take cares of him. I really enjoyed that. What I didn't enjoy was Ava obviously forgetting what match she's meant to interfere in. You see, you came out with Joe Gacy. That's the one.
I don't get that.
You are not a member of. What's it affect you if Gallus or the Creeds are tag team champions? You know, Ava said no. Still post. Gallus hit Julius Creed with a Gallus Gate to win. I mean, before your thoughts on the match, I hate to point it to Booker, but he said the Creeds were very popular because of the signs. I think they handed those out, Book. I just want to say. What are your thoughts on this? Because this was a lot better than it should have been.
Yeah, it ended up being really, really good. Like I said, very solid is the best way I would describe it. I thought the tag team action was strong. You're 100% right about that finish. I was confused, but I guess for my pick, when I was like, for the fact that I predicted that Gallus would retain, I was happy to see her, but you're 100%. I was confused. I was like, this is not the Grizzled Young or the Dyad. This is not them. Like, what are you like? What are you doing? Like, say, like, yeah, it didn't really make a whole lot of sense. But, I was thankful for it when it comes to my pick. But the match itself, like you said, very, very good stuff from all involved. Like you said, the Creeds, I think their talent. That's the reason why I'm so up in the air about their future. I don't know. Like, I feel like they, especially when you think about the state of the main roster tag division, NXT, they will not be in NXT long, in my opinion. Like, I know they didn't get drafted. I was really surprised, honestly, because you asked me, they're ready as a team anyway, probably to be drafted. But I think this is, again, a really, really good match. You know what we feel about Gallus as a team. They're the definition of just really, really good hands. And honestly, I must say, though, the thing about this, when it comes to the Creeds is like, are they done when it comes to winning NXT tag team championships? Because they have seemed to not been able to get the job done or get over the finish line in these situations. Yes, they got screwed, and I understand it's probably going to keep the Dyad or something involved with Diamond Mine, I'm assuming. But do they even go by that anymore?
The Diamond Mine is thing, because I did get asked if Ivory Nile's name was Diamond Mine. So I have had that recently.
Right.
Which again, is not a bad name for a wrestler.
No, not bad. It's not bad at all. Actually, no, it's fine. But again, it was a pretty good match, and I want to say this too. I don't envy anybody that had to follow. Like, I give you automatic props for coming out there and having a pretty good match after what we witnessed before that.
That's an excellent point. Because the thing is, this is probably why I was so receptive to this, because I was like, I was just needing a break, but then, like I said, the
Right.
Judy's thing happened, and then I'm going, no, I do like Gallus, and no, actually, and it's like I said, another match after this would have died a slow death, I think. So again, that's a credit, and a thing I think the problem with the Creeds at this moment in time is because they are so close to a call up. Rather than back in the old days, actually be given a run with the titles or the gold. Not that it matters because you call up a champ. But they go, no, we don't. You're over. We want to put you in a program, but we just, when you think, like you said, it's a year since they won the titles. And I think even Booker said they should have been more time champions by now. So
it's true.
Either the classic expression, shit or get off the pot. Mate, one or the other.
Exactly. Like they're either ready or they need to, continue to work on stuff.
Exactly. Give them the gold, and we move on. Out of 5 for this, what would your score?
I think like I said, I give them credit for following what they followed. I think I round about 3 3.75.
Yeah, I gave this a 4. I was actually quite impressed with this. Predictions, well, fuck Ava. All went Gallus from this dickhead talking, so it means Gina and James. I know.
So I know you hated that spot.
The two non-fucking NXT watchers. I know, managed to pick Gallus. Makes me fucking... Not the fact that they got the points. It makes me sick that I lost. Don't get me wrong, I'm selfish in that way.
Yeah.
Monty Jackson on 4, Gene and James on 3. The Master Attacker will reveal herself Tuesday. Good for us. We've got that coming up then. Lara Valkyrie versus Tiffany Stratton for the NXT Women's Championship in our co-main event. Of course, Valkyrie fought hard through a knee injury suffered at the hands of Cora Jade. On Wednesday, Stratton slammed the injured knee into the apron and sent her knee into the steel post. She followed up by ripping off the brace. Every big move from the Valkyrie was sold as difficult due to the knee injury. Difficult Valkyrie on a dive and crossbody and went for a fireman's carry slam. But the Valkyrie reversed into crucifix pin for a near fall. Valkyrie's leg buckled on her first roundhouse kick attempt, but she managed to duck the prettiest moonsault ever and hit a second. But Stratton got a foot on the rope, which got a great reaction from the crowd. The crowd was behind the center of the universe, waiting for that moment, and here it came as she finally planted her with a rolling fireman's carry into the prettiest ever moonsault to win. And your new NXT Women's Champion, Tiffany Stratton. Monty, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, man, I really like this match. It was a lot better than I'm not gonna say what I was expecting, but I think the psychological part of it. Again, this is Tiffany Stratton. Like I said, we've been able to watch her take steps, but this is the first time I ever seen her like attack a body part to this extent. If you see what I'm trying to say, and focus on that, and then have that play a factor in the end, I think was really, really a nice touch, and it really made her look. Really, really it really made her. It capped off the fact that she's ready, the fact that she dominated and looked so strong at times while trying to take out Lyra's leg. Really made her feel like, okay, yeah, this is definitely probably going to be her crowning moment. I think if she would have lost here, it would have felt like a mistake, because that's just how well they put together the match to make Tiffany look, smart and strong here. And I'm going to give Lyra her, like you said, her credit. She sold her butt off. And that's more of the point I was making earlier about her connection with the crowd. I hate that she was obviously the one who was being the victim here, but Tiffany was so over, and people are just so ready for Tiffany to have this moment because of how good she is, that the crowd didn't really seem to have much sympathy for a lot of the work that she had to put in. But by the end of the match, though, the crowd really was starting to get into it, and you could tell, that reaction to the prettiest moonsault ever really was hype, because everyone just felt like, the future is now. This is the moment, that we've been waiting for Tiffany to be, like you said, the center of the universe and to be our women's champion. I'm expecting a really successful run. I think I mentioned this at the beginning of the year, that if it's one thing I knew, or not even at the beginning of the year, I told you this in the past. I don't know exactly when, but I know it's one thing I knew, is that Tiffany Stratton once she worked out the kinks, once she got more experience, she was going to be ready to be at the top of this division. And it may have been a little bit sooner maybe than even I was expecting. It still feels like, you know what, the time is right. And it was to the point to where after watching this match, as good as I think Lyra is, it would have been a mistake if it went any other way. And I think they also compared her to the last woman who won the title in the tournament, I think was Charlotte. So I'm just like, to hear those type of comparisons just lets you know that management also see what we all see, and that she is one of the best, or quickly becoming one of the best. And like one of those people, those younger faces that I'm not trying to take a shot at Cora Jade, because I don't mind Cora Jade either, but she shot kind of past her if you think about the trajectory of star power right now. She just feels like she's on another level, and her character work has been good. And I think this match was also one of those moments where it felt like she finally put it all together. So it was a really good match, and I really enjoyed the fact that Tiffany was able to get this moment, and you could tell the crowd was ready for it too.
Yeah, and I think, again, the presentation of this, the great promo videos beforehand, and the entrances as well, made them both look like stars. I don't mind with Valkyrie, because the crowd maybe would have been behind Rox more, but you're building another person up. This is Valkyrie now.
Right, exactly.
Even in defeat, has now come closer than, like I said, Cora Jade or something like this in that situation. This was a lot better than I was expecting. And, of course, with both women, you're never sure what you're going to get. It was given time and a story to tell. It was the longest match on the show. And for the first time in a long time, the women's division felt a bit like the old NXT, if you know what I mean. That kind of...
I agree.
Again, it's development, but I don't mind it when you just think, especially like Tiffany Stratton, like the reaction she's getting now when she gets on that main roster, she's built for, like if Vince McMahon could create a perfect, woman or diva in his mind, it would look like Tiffany Stratton. But credit where it's due to both of these, I agree
100%.
What would you score this out of 5?
I ended up again. I was really high on this one. I think I gave it 4.5. I really liked it.
Yeah, no, I go 4.5 as well. Predictions: we all went for TS, so it means annoyingly that I and Gina are on 4 points, Monty and Jackson on 5, as we head for the main event: NXT Championship. Carmella Hayes versus Bron Breakker. Bron Breakker appeared early in the night with kind of giant square sunglasses. But if he didn't think that was enough, for his entrance, he put on a hoodie and a wolf mask. Does someone want to tell him that he's related to the Steiners? Like, do something incorporating that. Don't be a Baron Corbin ripoff.
The lone wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I think he was trying to be a dog-faced gremlin, but like I said, I don't know. I guess it was, I guess wolf, dog, same family.
Oh my word.
Same family. Bron Breakker again, but I do love the tradition. We're keeping the tradition alive. That every takeover, he's not breaking anything anymore, but we got to add some type of thing to make his entrance or make him feel like, oh, this is a big deal this week. He has a dog mask on for some reason.
This is the thing. This is the problem. You're going to take it, careful. But does anybody who doesn't, talk about who gives the best entrances? Trick Williams, man. Give him. It makes you feel. I mean, those two just go together. Like what's
man.
Peanut butter and jelly.
It's gonna break my heart when wrestling inevitably breaks them up. It's gonna break my heart. It's the same thing like the Street Profits. Like, it's going to happen at some point. We know it's just wrestling. It always happens. But some tandems, man, you just wish they could do this forever.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. Well, Breakker sets Mello up on the ropes for a superplex, but Mello kicks Bron off. Bron quickly recovers and leaps up with a super-duper Frankensteiner, but gets just a 2. A suplex by Bron gets countered into a DDT, and they trade punches. Mello gets a bet with the exchange, pump kick and a springboard clothesline, but he can't keep Bron down. He can only keep him down for 1. Mello does bet with a cutter, but only They stand to trade again. Braun goes for his finish, but eats a code breaker. Hayes to the top rope for nothing but net. Rolls through, dodges the spear, and Breaker into his shoulder first into the post. Hayes springballs off the ropes and right into his spear. So close. Braun is stunned. Trick Williams is stunned. Braun's mad now, so you know he's mad because the straps are down, but somehow Mello
come down,
manages to fight back with a series of super kicks into a springboard back elbow, setting up nothing but net to win. So, Monty, what were your thoughts on the main event? Mello broke the hometown curse.
Yes, he did. He broke it, and it was really, really good. I really love this match. I'll take this match over the first match when they were kind of in reverse roles. I guess you could say Braun was towards the end of his baby face, and Mello was definitely turning there. So to see them now and to see Mello fighting from this side, kind of fighting in this position against the bigger guy, against someone like Braun, I think their styles meshed even better together than they did in their first title match encounter. And I think another thing I really liked about this match, not only was the Super Frankenstein and beautiful, but Braun Breaker's timing, one of the most overused moves in wrestling. Like I don't hate the spear, but man, when I was younger, I used to love the spear. Like Goldberg's edges, cool, fine, I love them. But as I've gotten older, it just said why so much wrestling is like it's like, oh man, everyone just has a spear. Braun Breaker, I love his spear. His spear reminds me a lot of how Goldberg used to just. Of course, I know it's a football town, so they got that in common. But the way he runs through people or just flies through them, like catching the timing of that spear from Mello off the springboard, it was perfect. It was just a perfect looking spear. So I got to give him props for stuff like that. Braun's matches, in my opinion, when he was a babyface, started to get kind of stale. So I really think him as a heel now or on that side where he's just way more aggressive, you really see the powerhouse side of him come out. And I really, it's not just in flashes like we saw when he was a babyface. And Mello, once again, he's so talented. It's not even fair. I think Mello honestly didn't even really get deep into the bag of that I've come to know him from. I think we know that Mello can also go an entire level above this. But I really love the match that him and Braun put together. I think their matches are only getting better, and I think this will definitely be a rivalry, maybe on both sides of it. Maybe with Mello back on the other side and Braun back as a face. This will be something kind of like I mentioned with Stratton and Roxanne. This will be something going forward if everything works out that I'm sure WWE is banking on having in their back pocket in the future. So I really didn't have a problem with this match. I enjoyed it. I don't think it was. I don't think it was perfect. So it's not anywhere close to what Dragunov and Dijak put on to me. But I did genuinely enjoy it, and I thought it was better than their first encounter.
Yeah, I mean, I will say it's better than their first encounter without a doubt. I still think there's a bit of a disconnect, and I don't know what it is. I felt the crowd was there, but the match maybe wasn't on a level as others in the card. And again, I don't know if they've had enough experience. I mean, there's stuff Mello was doing, where it was surprised that, Braun kicked out and all these little great moves. And I'm thinking it's just not, I don't know, maybe give him a proper worker and see, what happens.
Yeah.
Because I think with Braun, it's, like I said, the potential is there, but I don't know if
he's a work in progress.
Yeah, I don't know if they're a main event of TakeOver yet. There's no doubt Hayes and Braun are respected, but together, Braun has. We talked about the Creeper. Braun's officially got nothing left to do now, has he? That's him done.
Yeah, at this point, I don't know what they could do. I mean, he could join. He could get a tag team with Von Wagner. There you go.
Hang on, and call it Bron Wagner. Thank you very much.
Two big angry guys just scowling in all black with Rob Stone talking.
Bron Wagner. That's what we want, Bron Wagner. So, as for the main event, again, it was good. What are you going to score out of 5?
Yeah, again, I agree with you. I definitely like it over the first encounter, but you're right. It wasn't like, some of the great, like again, Gargano. Think about Gargano and Ciampa. You know, some of those main events that we know of from that Takeover has become known. I would not put it on any of those levels, but I will give it around like 4.5. I think was a fair score.
Yeah, I gave that a 4. Predictions, final scores. We all went Bron. So it means that James and Gina finish on 5. Jaxie and Monty both get the win for NXT and both get a bonus point for perfect fucking scores. It makes me sick. Basically, what that means in the bonus league, Jaxie is now level with Gina on 11 and Monty is level with me on 14. You motherfucker!
Ava, thank you. I should tweet Ava Rain right now. Thank you for your nonsensical interference.
Oh, shit.
Yes, the funny thing is, I only picked Gallus because I wanted to have a different pick from you. So, see, you want to have a perfect score. Just do the opposite of James sometimes. That's how you do it.
I cannot believe Gallus would let me down. But no, congratulations to you, Monty. Of course, the expert gets a win. I mean, Jaxie did as well, but hey. And it means if you get a perfect score, double or nothing, then you will overtake the prediction league. And God knows what's going to happen on AEW. I don't know. We'll find out when we do it. We've still got talking about... I mean, first off, talk about rating out of 10 for Battleground. Don't you love the length of a takeover? Huh? Isn't that the best?
Yeah, man. I love it. I forgot. I think it was like three matches left in Double or Nothing when this was over. 3-4 matches left or something like that. So, yeah, man, this is awesome. I love the pace, the feeling of it. I kind of teased this on our last podcast, and I'm gonna go ahead and just spill the beans. I think my overall score for this was 9.25. I genuinely enjoyed this match. The lowest rating thing I probably would give it would be even that, again, I thought was really, really good, especially considering what they had to follow. Everything, in my opinion, was good or, really good to awesome. So, even though it didn't have like 3, 4, 5 stars, it had like 1 perfect and then a lot of really good stuff. I think that's a perfect mixture to have a really, really strong show. And in my opinion, we'll talk about the other one, the next show. But in my opinion, this was the strongest show of Double or Nothing weekend. And that's just me. I genuinely enjoyed this one, even over Night of Champions and that awesome ending that we got there. So, yeah, man, this is a really, really strong pay-per-view, and it's at least, like I said, it gave me at least one of the most special, extreme type of last man standing matches that I've ever seen in my life. I'll never forget it, and I will definitely be revisiting it.
Well, this is the thing, and I always, it's difficult to rate and talk about different wrestling events because everybody's got different opinions and stuff like this.
Right, it's subjective.
Exactly. But I like to call it like the rewatchability or whatever. I knew WrestleMania 17 was good when I was a kid, when I rewatched it the next day. I thought that's the kind of how out of everything that happened at the weekend. Yes, I've rewatched the end bit with, of course, Roman and, the bloodline and what happened there.
Me too. I rewatched it.
But I've rewatched this match.
Yes.
I just can't. It shocks me every time that it just plumped in the middle of a NXT card in 2023. Is this and I get just so special. I'm going to give this a 9.25 as well. Like I said, really, really good stuff. Done in 2 hours and 20 or whatever it was. Fantastic. Right. Match of the night, last man standing for me. I assume for you as well.
Yeah.
Unless you're going
to No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Who's your MVP of the night? Because my MVP, again, it's tough, but I just want to see who yours is first.
Okay, so again, I could not talk about this night without talking about Ilya Dragunov. So he's definitely the first person I thought of when I was writing down MVP. But my last two, one of them is petty and one of them just makes me laugh. Lash Legend, MVP, great timing. getting my guy the victory. Lash Legend has never won anything for me in these NXT. So shout out to Lash Legend. She's obviously improving, even though she did not have a match at all. Thank you for your role in that show. And the last one, very, very petty. The only reason why I got a perfect. Thank you, Ava Rain. It did not make any sense, but I appreciate you.
Well, I'm going to take my MVP seriously because if you look through the card and each match, like you said, Wesley MVP in that one, Noam Dar,
definitely,
Ilya with a Dijak.
Mm-hmm.
You could argue both men, Creeds as well.
Both
Stratton, and I think I'm going to look through it, and I think Tiffany Stratton, big moment in her career. That last man standing match will live with me forever, but it might be like one of those trivia things of. Did you know on the same card Tiffany Stratton won her first title? Because, like you said, the mentions of Charlotte, the other mentions of of certain things, it seems very, very interesting. So there
I think that's the other thing you'll remember this show about. That's the other thing. Like even more than Mello and all that. That's the thing. Next to that classic last man standing match, we will always remember that this is the night that Tiffany was first crowned.
I think without a shadow of a doubt. Really, really good stuff. Battleground. We have one last thing, which is the last NXT June 30th. And they didn't start off with, look how great Battleground was. It was straight into Gigi versus JC with a great promo video before. Weaponized steel cage match, Gigi Dolan versus JC Jane. They punish each other a lot, but it was Gigi Dolan who had the last laugh, choke slamming her former friend through a table to take the win. I think you would agree, Monty, this was the best match between the two by quite a way.
Yes. Finally. They finally was given time to just tell a story and have a pretty good to decent or, a really good match, in my opinion. And, to have Gigi finally get the definitive victory because, honestly, they, like you said, some of the other stuff they did was really lacking. They were allowed to be creative in this one, you know what I'm saying? They had time. And I really thought the weapon usage and the hard hits worked. It could have been a little slow at times, but I really, really enjoyed this for them. And, again, this is by far, like you said, nowhere near. Just like nothing and anything else they've done so far since the Toxic Attraction has broken up has even been remotely this good. So it was good that they finally got a chance to, things to rest and do this. And the way, like you mentioned, since they didn't mention Battleground, it really makes you wonder. Like you can tell, could this match have been squeezed in to the Battleground? I'm glad it wasn't because, like you said, we get the perfect pacing of Battleground and all of that. But the way since it was a big feud blow off, you kind of would expect that to be on that card. But I think it still worked out, and it was a really good match.
Yeah, I think it's best of both worlds because it did get quite a bit of time as well, didn't it, to start? So
yeah, they wouldn't have got as much time. On Takeover. That's true.
So backstage, we see Stax. He thought he could beat up Gallus. Yes, boys and girls, he got the shit kicked out of him. In ring, Carmella Hayes put over his win against Bron Breakker, but Noam Dar and his new stable arrived to interrupt. I couldn't even think of a name for this stable yet. I'm trying to come up with one. Trick Williams shut Dar down, but the Scottish Supernova still managed to go champion into putting a title on the line in the main event. I mean, that was quick development, wasn't it?
Right, yeah. I was definitely not expecting it, but it was again, another thing that kind of tells the story of just how smart or at least clever Noam Dar is. So I did support that, but yeah, I agree. I did not expect to get a title match right now.
Scripps found Axiom backstage and thanked him for opening his eyes by taking off his mask. Well, that's what happens when you take your mask off. Wesley and Tyler Bate beat the Dyad. Afterwards, a brawl broke out as Ivanhoe attacked Ava. Good. Joe Gacy took out Lee from behind until Mustafa Ali ran in to make the save, standing tall with the victors. He did show up mid-match. So Mustafa Ali's reward for his banger against Gunther is Joe Gacy. That's not really fair, is it?
Yeah, it definitely sounds like a downgrade, but honestly, I think it's definitely a massive upgrade if you think about pre-Gunther when, he was kind of basically a joke, getting jobbed out, getting destroyed. I don't think he ever wants to see Bobby Lashley again. But as a free agent, I guess this is what we're gonna see. This is gonna be how they use free agents. They can pop up at any time, So it was. I don't have a problem with it. I just think it makes me wonder, like, if this is how we're gonna do this. Why is it like it's certain other people that I haven't seen in a while? I'm like, you know what? Screw it. Just let Shelton and Cedric pop up in NXT. Like, why not? They're not doing anything. Like, there's so many people you can think of. But I'm very, very happy that Ali is here because I'm interested to see where this goes. Now, it's a slippery slope when you're feuding with Gacy. You can go a couple of ways. So I hope it's not the goofy, weird way that it can go, and I hope that we get to see, the best of Ali, particularly in the ring, because that's his strongest, attribute.
Yeah, without a doubt. We get Tiffany Stratton inviting the women's locker room to enjoy her Tiffy-bration, but no one came out until she promised to announce the first challenger for NXT Women's Championship. She told them number one contender would be decided in the Battle Royal next week. The women teamed up, sending their pack in, ending with Lyra Valkyrie swinging. I think the only good thing about this whole segment was Tiffany's ticker tape mustache, because I didn't think it worked.
That's a good point.
This is why it's developmental. It's like...
Yeah. Yeah, still figuring things out. It was good to see her kind of stand above the rest of the division, though. That's one thing I did like, is like, I'm the champion now, so I get to kind of just talk down to you all and all of that. So that's one good thing about it. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. It depends on who wins this battle royal. We'll see who gets the first crack at Tiffy.
Who would have thought Triple H and Shawn Michaels would have booked a battle royal for a number one contendership? That's fucking crazy. That's like AEW having a tournament.
Right.
Like, come on.
So what you doing?
Yeah. Thea Howell
Tony
joined...
Khan.
Tony. What are we doing? Thea Howell joined Drew Gulak and Charlie Dempsey's technical class, even after Duke told her she did not have to attend. That shows you guts. And I'll show you how much of an impact Ilya Dragunov had at Battleground. They showed a vignette saying he would return next week. He is a star. He is a star already. Like,
just in case you was looking for the little violent guy from Sunday,
yeah,
he'll be here next week.
Yeah, he'll be fucking someone up next week. Don't worry about that. Danny Palmer called out the woman who attacked her and her friend Soa Ruka. You attacked my friend, and now she's out for a year, and no one cared. She got laid out by revealing herself to be, who was the attacker? None other than Blair Davenport. Yep, Booker didn't have a clue.
No clue.
No.
Blair Davenport. Who? Vic repeating himself. We're talking about Blair Davenport. Booker and Booker still radio silence. Who the hell is this? Oh, Booker.
Jesus.
Booker.
Oh, mate, Booker is like... I tell you what, if I see him and Vic, it's just... It's a match made in heaven. It really is. Good to see Blair back. Let's hope, like it says, can stay injury free. Not happy with the ass kicking earlier. Stacks decided to get his ass kicked by Joe Coffey. What a mess this was, If you're wondering, Tony D still having mugshots, So just in case you want to know where he is.
The biggest crime is that match was 10 minutes. Like, why are we sitting through this for 10 minutes? Finish him, Joe.
I thought it felt long, but I didn't want to say anything. When you watch it, you go, have I what, is this still the same match? Corbin,
right. Damn it, Joe.
Come on, put him away. Don't need to go out. He's got counted. The referee had to go out and go, look, guys, you're going to get counted out in a minute. It's wrestling. Like, get back in the ring. Oh, shit. Anyway, Cora Jade, Ivy Noel next. Only interference from fucking Ava could save the generation of Jade, and the distraction allowed her to hit an impact DDT to win. Diamond got it again backstage. and we're going to get a 6-person tag match on our next update. We now know our next takeover or premium live event. It is going to be the Great American Bash, July 30th. I had nothing planned for that weekend anyway. And then the main event, NXT Championship, Carmella Hayes versus Noam Dar. Carmella had Trick Williams, Dar with his crew. We'll come up with a better name. Dragon Lee and Nathan Fraser on Dar by distracting him, and all managed long enough for Carmella Hayes to dive onto him, setting up nothing but net to win. And then the second free agent arrival of the night shocked fans as Baron fucking Corbin arrived to plant Mello with the end of days. And it's like, we love Mello. I wonder who you're going to give him next. Baron fucking Corbin.
Baron fucking Corbin.
Baron fucking Corbin.
God.
He needs to see.
Now, I did wonder. Oh, that would be perfect.
That would be.
Oh, that would be perfect. Oh, man. Well, yeah, probably the matches might not be the most interesting thing, but yeah. Anyway, no, I must say this. The funniest thing about this, how much of an NXT mark I am. I was like, man, Baron Corbin hit End of the Days, and this is not a record. Now, End of the Days is a strong finisher anyway, even on the main roster. But it just made me. It kind of went back in my mind when they used to count down in his matches. Like, man, you remember when Baron Corbin was cool? It's been so long. It's been so long. But yeah, it was good to see him. But to the Noam Dar match, I want to talk about that a second. You would think they would save this match because I felt like I think they were cooking. They were cooking up something, man. You would like it made me want more time. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a great TV match. It was really, really good. But you would hope, like me, I know I was hoping, like one day at a bigger event, more time, 1-on-1. They can, like you said, it's kind of like you mentioned, like having Mello in there with more of a worker. Like, I don't know. I think if you give them more time, that him and Noam Dar can have a really, really good one. Even though this was strong, really strong.
Oh, no, I mean, I'll pay for that. I mean, and there was a lock it in chant as well. I don't know where that, I don't know if it was trick on the outside or, like, and
right.
it was happening. I thought, that's quite cool. Right. But, again, great to see Dar in the main event. This episode of NXT, like I said, Mustafa Ali showing up, Baron Corbin showing up, the really good opener as well. I mean, what were your thoughts on, I know it's only 2 episodes, but what are your thoughts been on NXT this past month or so, and where do you see it in maybe the next month until we do the next takeover?
I think, like you mentioned, it slowly but surely has transformed into a hybrid NXT UK, sprinkled in with a little bit of, every now and then it goes a little bit 2.0, but then you also get a little bit of that pure NXT sometimes too. So it's just they're working with something. I think they're trying to still get a pure identity, but I think if you want to say they have an identity, the identity right now is NXT UK. But it's nothing wrong with that, though. I told you that was some of the strongest television and writing and simplest storytelling that we've had. And a lot of stuff just made sense. And I think that's what's been going on with NXT. They're making sense every step of the way. I mean, maybe unless, like you said, if you just cut out everything that Stacks has going on, everything else makes perfect sense.
Get rid of Stacks and Reggie. Like anything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. You get rid of that, then we could, you trim the fat. You got to trim the fat. They still got a little bit of fat hanging on there. But again, I have, like you said, this wasn't as many episodes, but just overall, based on what they've been building, the type of matches we're getting just on regular television, like you said, just getting Noam Dar Mello out of nowhere, you can just tell that Shawn Michaels is enjoying having a big chunk of NXT UK down in NXT. Also, I want to say this: I'm very confused on the NXT tag titles because they're on SmackDown and stuff now. But I've also noticed that they just use that as a vehicle so far to just stop having to worry about booking those. They're like, just take them to SmackDown. We don't want to have to worry about that anymore. We gave you
no, stop. Please come back. Oh my God.
It's like they haven't even noticed that they're gone. like because Caden and Katana's gone. That's the only other team who ever gave a damn about those belts anyway. Yeah. So, yeah, Yeah, I just thought that was very interesting. I don't know when they'll return. Maybe at some point, or I don't know. I think maybe they'll just at some. They might as well just have a Raw Women's Tag Championship and a SmackDown one at this rate, or we're just gonna keep jumping shows. Really confused with what they're doing there, but I hope the Unholy Union will be all right. But yeah, NXT very, very strong, and I love Battleground, and I can't wait to see the build to Great American Bash to see what we're going to be playing around with in July. So yeah, I'm looking forward to what's coming next.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, good times are ahead, especially if if we can get Ilya Dragunov versus Carmelo Hayes in a couple of months' time.
I hope that's what we're building.
Oh,
that'll be nice.
Well, your man's going down. Your man is going fucking down.
I'm worried for him. I must say, he's gonna need Trick. Like, please, Trick Williams, be there.
Ian's gonna rip Trick's arm off and hit him over the head with it. That's what's gonna happen. We're gonna be going like, what the fuck?
It's a great point.
Yeah. Well, on that lovely note, we'll leave. So that's it. Don't forget, of course, all social media. Twitter at the WNR Podcast. I'm at the WNR JR. You can find the entire WNR team on the Twitter banner. Monty, do you want to plug your stuff where people can find and listen to you?
All right, at Monty Pod on Twitter. You can click the link in my bio, listen to some of my old episodes of my clips. I'm now starting to upload clips onto YouTube with you can type in Mind the Monty. Subscribe there. Again, I'm still working up a script pretty much for Best of the Super Juniors, because again, I'm not going to touch on everything. I'm going to try to touch on a lot of the highlights for me, and definitely going to touch on Dominion, the big show from this past weekend for New Japan. And I have a lot of stuff I have to catch up on personally also on the podcast. So just whenever you get a chance, check me out on Twitter, get my latest updates, and you will know when the newest podcast will be out. And hopefully I'll be able to upload it completely to YouTube also. So we're working on those things, but as new father, still in the process of moving. That'll be complete, I think, in the next few weeks. So once everything is settled and I'm down, I'll get right back to work like always. And I thank you guys for sticking with me.
Yeah, I think I appreciate the most about that is that you still got time to do this show. So it's like,
yeah,
I don't know how or why, but
if it wasn't so fun, I probably would have been on a sabbatical. But it's just so fun. I have to do it. Gotta stress relieve. It's a stress relieving for me.
It really, really is, and this will be called the Ilya Dragunov pod. Anyway, I feel.
Yeah.
What it was. WNR also on Facebook and Instagram, Google platforms. So listen, email WNRpodcast@gmail.com. YouTube podcast with latest clips and podcasts at the same time on YouTube as do SoundCloud on your phone, also Spotify and iTunes. We can download, subscribe, rate, and review there. So that is it. Our next episode, AEW Double or Nothing. I have one show left to win, because I was the cunt that said someone has to win at least 1 out of 3, and I've lost 2. So here we go. What will happen at Double or Nothing? We will find out. Until then, I've been James Rollins, and I was joined by the mind of Monty. Always a pleasure and never a chore with you with these NXT updates.
Yes, sir. Always fun. I'm glad we're continuing the tradition of getting these done in under 2 hours, easy. And it's always a good time. Always a good time. And I'm glad the product is now matching our quality of podcast. Now we're getting good wrestling. See what happens when you get good wrestling, the podcast get really good too. Right? It's just because I feel like when it was 2.0, man, some of those podcasts we're just shitting on a show for 2 hours.
I had to drag myself to them. I
would not be working through all of this just for 2.0. Okay, I would not be podcasting just for still 2.0. So kudos to those guys for picking it up, so the podcast quality can pick up also.
Without a shadow of a doubt. And I say thanks for listening, and bye.